Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes, not to be confused with Power of the Primes, which is what I almost called this line. Today we're going to be taking a look at the first of the Combaticons to build the mighty Bruticus. That is going to be none other than the Deluxe class Vortex, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro. Now, spoiler alert for those of you who don't know your boy Overlord Productions very well, Bruticus is my favorite combiner from all of Transformers. Yes, it's not Michael Bay Devastator, it is Bruticus, G1 Bruticus. I do have the Fall of Cybertron Skittles / G2 variant of Bruticus. Is it G2? No, I think it's just the Skittles version. But I do have that, and I do have most of the Combiner Wars Bruticus. I'm missing Blastoff. Let's just say TJ Maxx didn't have the Jet Blastoff available, nor did I pick up the later released Shuttle version, so he's missing an arm, but he can stand, for what that's worth. But this one, I'm in it to win it. I want to get all the components so I can put this guy together. Whether it means I'm going to have a lot of money when that is all said and done is another story. But at the end of the day, Shockwave's my favorite Decepticon / base Transformer. Bruticus is my favorite combiner. And the fact that we're getting both of those things within the same calendar year is pretty freaking sweet, if you ask me. So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see at all Vortex has to offer in terms of accessories, because he comes with quite a few for being a deluxe class. The first of which is his standard blaster, which you can hold in either hand. It's a little tricky, but it is doable. We also get these two little guns, which I tend to plug into his shins, and a little bolt to his legs. So that's probably where they will be going. And then we also have the back, or in vehicle mode, top rotors. They can spread out like so. But to be honest, it would have been cool. I know a lot of you guys like to make fun of my Bayformers. If these could fold down like a cape, like Blackout did in the 07 movie. But at any rate, you can straighten them out, you can put them on his arm, and have him use them as blades. Much like the, I want to say, Fall of Cybertron version could do that. I don't think the Combiner Wars one could, because I think his actually did fold up like a cape. Like these were bent. So instead of having a straight piece, you had like a right angle piece, and they folded up. And that's probably what they should have done here. Don't know why they didn't do that. But taking a closer look at Vortex. He's a little wiggly, because I guess there's some spring-loaded component in his chest that helps with a combined mode. He does have those unsightly portholes because of that, but whatever. He's going to be in combined mode almost all the time, so does that really matter? Not to this guy. The guy behind the camera, not the figure here. I'm sure he doesn't like having holes for nipples, but it sucks to be him, I suppose. But as far as his articulation goes, his head is on a nifty little ball joint that can actually get decent range up. You can look down a little bit. He does have some tilt, and of course rotation. Shoulders will pop out, back down. They will rotate forward and back. He does have a bicep swivel that's pretty stiff. Right there. Then he does have a single jointed elbow, which again, these panels, you can unplug them and push them back, but they don't flatten out. So he does look kind of funny with those just kind of hanging off his arms. You do get these little peg holes for those extra little blasters if you want to put those there, but I just tend to leave this up and then I'll probably put the gun in his hand until we get to combine mode. Then he'll be an arm. But that's that. Nothing in the wrist. He does have a waist twist that works quite well. It's almost ab crunch the way it kind of wiggles back and forth. His hips will kick out to the side, back down, forward, back. He does have a thigh cut, single jointed knee, as well as a pretty decent ankle rocker. And then because his toe and heel are separate pieces, you can actually pivot those as well. So that's cool. I neglected to mention the elbows have a little a ratchet in them, which I do like and wish was integrated in the knees. I don't know why that isn't the case, but that is Vortex in a nutshell. He is cool. He's a nifty little guy, but let's face it, the best Combaticon is Onslaught. Or Brawl, because you can't go wrong with a missile carrier or a tank. So when we plug these rotors in back here. So I like to leave them spread out like this. It makes them look a little more imposing. But I do wish they folded up more. I'm going to put this blaster over here because this arm has like the propeller. What the heck is that? It does have the little propeller blade, so I feel like that is his weapon for his right side. And then on this side, you can plug this gun in. And that kind of helps hide the awkward arm-ness going on there. And then we have these guys, which I like to plug in like this, just so they're out of the way. And they do add a little bulk to his legs, and they do cover those holes, which are literally right in the front. So there you go. There is Vortex, all kitted out with his accessories and his propeller blade, looking like a Vortex should. Again, not a perfect figure, but not a bad one either. I will say transforming him into vehicle mode is a bit of a pain in the balls the first time around, especially if you're not used to like modern Transformers. I forget the last time I bought a Super New Transformer. I want to say it was what's his name? Silverbolt, was it? I can't remember. It was either him or Bludgeon, and they weren't as tight as this guy. So that's kind of wild. Oh, I also have that Core Class Tasmanian Kid and that Voyager Class Leo Convoy. But before we wrap this up, we'll bring in our two regulars, because of course, being the only Combaticon out, I don't really have anything to compare this guy to right now. But we got Brother Mandibilith and the infamous 11 Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone because he is not a Deluxe class. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the typical wonkiness we're used to expecting with Transformers that do have combined modes, the only real issue I have with good old Vortex here is those gosh darn panels on his arms. I mean, they really couldn't have found a way to fold those back and down so they were out of the way? I guess not. But before we wrap things up, I think it is now time that we take a closer look at Vortex in his vehicle mode. And as promised, here is good old Deluxe class Vortex in his helicopter mode. Kinda reminded me of good old Blackout from the 2007 Transformers movie, and might I add, almost as difficult to transform as that Leader Class Studio Series Blackout from said 2007 Transformers movie, because this guy right here is freaking tight, literally almost everywhere. And I was a little worried at first about potentially damaging something on him because of how tight some of these hinges were. I might have to put a dab of soap or more in there to loosen some of those points up. But one thing's for sure, he's definitely not gonna fall apart. I will say this is a little unsightly, this gap on the side here, but I assume that's because he turns into an arm for good old Bruticus, who we will hopefully be having a look at around this time next year. But at any rate, he has his little gun on the front there. That is his main weapon. The propeller can spin. That's all fine and dandy. This back propeller can also spin. And then he has his two smaller guns back here, which I think he can rotate. Yes, you can rotate those. He's got the landing gear back here. You can fold this up, but it is what it is. So there is that. I might have that backwards. I'm not sure. But that is pretty much all she wrote for Vortex's vehicle mode. It's a nice compact vehicle mode. It's solid. You don't gotta worry about anything falling apart due to how secure it stays together. But man, oh man, getting here, a bit of a pain in the balls, not gonna lie. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.